The Rampart forest was eternal. Until the morning, the golden leaves began to bleed black.
Even Lumina sensed the corruption, a silent, necrotic decay creeping beneath the sacred elder roots.
The earth is dying here. This shouldn't be physically possible inside the magical barrier.
A cursed border expanding by the minute. If it reaches the central treasury, Rampart falls entirely.
I must find the necrotic source before the rot takes the elder tree completely.
The vibrant scent of pine vanished completely, replaced instantly by the suffocating stench of ancient dust. A forgotten gateway from the First Age. It was supposed to remain sealed away forever.
The necrotic corruption isn't just seeping out. Something is forcefully tearing this spatial rift open.
The rusted steel bore the crest of Deja. The necromancers had returned to the surface. The spatial rift shattered completely. Malachor, the vanguard of Deja, stepped onto the sacred soil. She retreated into the underground route network, the absolute fastest route to the draconic peaks.
If I drop this beacon here, Commander Kyrie will track the necrotic shift immediately.
The seed locked her coordinates perfectly, but it also illuminated her exact position in the dark. The beacon pulsed its coordinates for exactly 3 seconds. Then, the Hunter of Deja found it. Stripped of her backup, the pixie had only her natural agility against the undead predator. In the narrow tunnels, her butterfly wings were incredibly fragile. One tear meant instant death.
The geode gap is too narrow for its wingspan. It will have to crawl.
The Dreadbat possessed relentless brute strength. It crushed solid quartz just to follow her scent.
Just a few more yards. The air current is shifting. There is a hollow chamber ahead.
She breached the lost vaults of the Elders, a place undisturbed since the Silent War.
Necrotic veins. The corruption reached the lower vaults centuries ago. We were guarding a graveyard.
Her momentary discovery was abruptly interrupted. The undead hunter had shattered the natural barrier completely. The ultimate conflict of light and rot began in the silence of the ancient vault. Her agile movements were the only barrier against instant evisceration. Every second was borrowed time. Chekhov's gun hidden in plain sight, the forgotten manual defense conduit of the vault.
If I can input the activation signature, it might just purge the necrotic taint from this room.
It demands blood, a living sacrifice to initialize the core defense matrix.
Chi initialization requires life. Chrysia risked a closer approach, barely escaping the bat's necrotic reach.
Deja is here? I am whole again.
The weak arrow did little damage, but it succeeded in distracting the beast from the fairy.
The beast is enraged. Its necrotic venom will paralyze my recovering muscles instantly.
She instantly siphoned the raw mana, twisting the ancient defense into a focused offensive beam. The concentrated emerald burst seared through rotting flesh, forcefully grounding the undead predator forever.
The bat was only a scout. Malachor is destroying the root network right now.
The physical barrier of the treasury meant absolutely nothing to an abyssal steel blade. The warlord of Deja finally breached the absolute final layer of the elven treasury.
An endless swarm of bone. I cannot hold this choke point against an entire undead legion.
The captain knew brute force was useless. He immediately resorted to their most desperate contingency.
Take the scroll to the high canopy.
Warn the gold dragons of the breach immediately.
4 seconds is an eternity in combat. The Centaur captain sacrificed everything to buy time.
You will never claim the sky, Butcher of Deja.
She had to remain completely motionless. A single flinch would shatter the fragile spatial coordinates.
Hold on, Talon Strider. The vortex is stabilizing now. Just one more second.
The rift tore open. She escaped with the warning, leaving her savior to the undead swarm. The vortex spat her miles above the rot, directly into the realm of the Sky Lords.
The canopy is entirely too quiet. Aura must be resting at the highest sun roost.
Aurum, the eldest of the Rampart flight, guarded the upper atmospheric borders in absolute solitude.
Lord Aurum, the subterranean vault has fallen. Malachor breached the inner sanctum with an army.
The golden beast did not roar. Instead, a terrifying, heavy silence fell over the highest peak. Aurum wasted no time with questions. He launched his massive bulk immediately toward the atmospheric border. From the sky, the true scale of the Deja invasion was undeniable. The rot was accelerating.
The dead zone is widening too fast! It will consume the World Tree within the hour!
The dragon calculated the grim trajectory. The undead weren't just marching, they were poisoning the underground aquifer.
A silver starburst pierced the gloom. Commander Mafala's ground vanguard was finally engaging the Bone Legion.
The silver signal marked the final defensive line. The Rangers were holding the dying route.
Hold the volley until they cross the ash line. Conserve your mana for the heavies.
Mafala's precision was legendary, but ordinary arrows were completely useless against an endless tide.
The ground is quaking too heavily for skeletons. Something massive is shifting in the fog.
Malachor anticipated an aerial counterattack. He brought the ultimate desecration to control the sky. The colossal beast bypassed the infantry entirely, unleashing raw decay directly upon the fortified choke point.
Break formation! Scatter into the deep trenches! Before the acid melts them!
Centuries of elven craftsmanship dissolved in mere seconds. The barricade was utterly compromised.
Point primary defensive line! We cannot fight a dead sky from the ground!
Her deadliest strike was completely ineffective. Only a creature of equal scale could contest the airspace. The Sky Lords arrived, shifting the tactical balance from desperate survival to an aerial war.
Aurum is focusing Pestilence! Rangers, target the ground vanguard while the beast is distracted!
It was a collision of ancient elements. Metallic golden force against hollow necrotic bone. Aurum's ancient scales could resist fire, but Pestilence's concentrated acid breath would dissolve him entirely. The Molten Blast was highly effective, destabilizing the necrotic enchantments, keeping the massive skeleton airborne.
The skeletal Leviathan fell, but it deliberately aimed its massive, rotting bulk directly at the command trench.
Commander, brace yourselves! The dragon is deliberately crushing the entire defensive line!
A pixie's raw mana was insignificant against a dragon, unless channeled directly through the ancient roots. The Emerald Barrier violently deflected the falling mountain of bone, saving the Rangers from instant crushing.
The beast is destroyed, but the trench is gone. We are completely exposed to the swarm.
Without the barricade, the longbows were useless. Survival now demanded brutal, bloody close-quarters combat. Lock shields in the crater center. Do not let them surround the wounded.
The colossal shield had completely drained the pixie's mana. She was totally defenseless now.
Aurum is clearing the basin. Rangers, brace for the extreme thermal backdraft.
Dragonfire incinerates the dead. But Malachor was a sovereign of the abyss. He was entirely immune. The warlord ignored the scattered elven infantry completely. His sole target was the apex predator.
Aurum, evade. That abyssal steel will instantly sever your ancient magical core.
Golden scales that easily deflected mortal steel were utterly useless against pure, concentrated necrotic magic.
Skylord is grounded! The dark venom is paralyzing his wings rapidly!
To lose the ancient dragon meant losing the entire forest. They had to defend him.
Mafala was the greatest hunter in Rampart, but she was standing before absolute, immovable death.
For the sake of sacred roots, I will chop you down right here.
Her unmatched speed meant absolutely nothing. A single lazy strike from the warlord crushed her.
The dragon's life essence. It is pure, condensed, golden mana. I can absorb this.
She had exactly 3 seconds before the abyssal blades severed the ancient dragon's head permanently.
The ancient dragon's blood was essentially liquid fire. Absorbing it would either empower her or incinerate her.
No! If the Skylord falls, the forest root dies instantly! It is too late!
The abyssal execution stroke never landed. A sudden, miniature sun ignited directly beneath the heavy blade. The raw kinetic backfire threw the Sovereign of Death backward, shattering his absolute physical momentum completely.
The forest will not burn today, Malachor. You face the wrath of the sun itself.
The warlord was physically pushed back, but his dark magic remained completely intact and extremely lethal.
Ascended One, dodge! That spear will collapse your atomic structure instantly!
Dodging meant letting the sphere strike the wounded dragon behind her. She chose absolute confrontation.
Pure solar thermal energy collided with absolute dark gravity. The resulting shockwave flattened the entire battlefield.
Malachor is temporarily blinded. I must extract this abyssal spear before Orum's heart stops entirely.
Every second the harpoon remained, the necrotic poison corrupted another ancient golden artery. Time was running out. Malachor shook off the starlight dust. The momentary distraction was over, and the warlord began his lethal charge. The dragon was free, but Chrysia was utterly exhausted. The Lord of Deja was now seconds away.
Every labored breath was agony. The ascended form was too volatile for her small mortal soul. Your stolen light is merely fuel for my expanding shadow, little fairy.
Rampart endures, as long as the sky holds one speck of starlight.
The grounded dragon couldn't aim, but his internal core still possessed destructive volatility.
Malachor stepped through the unrefined gold fire. His victory was absolute and inevitable. Her spilled draconic mana had soaked deep into the dead earth. The true forest core finally answered.
What is this? Pure starlight beneath the dirt?
The crust of the forest shattered completely, dropping the combatants directly into the ancient forbidden sanctuary.
The gravity is completely nullified here. This is the heart of the Grail Network.
Stripped of his physical anchor to the earth, the unstoppable warlord became a clumsy, floating prisoner.
He could not fly, but the warlord adapted instantly, anchoring his darkness to the ancient roots.
He is pulling himself toward the core. If he shatters the prism, Rampart collapses completely.
She intercepted his violent trajectory with her own body, a desperate celestial shield against abyssal momentum. You protect the stone, fairy, but who protects the dying beast?
The sadistic feint worked. She sacrificed her own celestial armor to save the dragon's life.
Instead of letting go, the fairy embraced the pain, using his own abyssal chain as leverage.
Clever but irrelevant. If I cannot claim the root, I will simply erase it.
The compressed soul bomb carried enough necrotic rot to permanently sterilize the entire forest network.
I cannot intercept it! The trajectory is too fast in this vacuum!
The fallen ancient could not fly, but his aim remained flawlessly, perfectly lethal. The ancient dragon's precision was absolute. He detonated the soul bomb prematurely, saving the core.
The blast wave is tearing the vacuum! The vault's spatial lock is shattering!
Malachor weaponized the explosion meant to stop him, surfing the kinetic wave toward absolute victory.
The World Tree defends itself? Pathetic! Rotten wood cannot bind the abyss!
The fairy and the ancient roots synchronized perfectly. They anchored the warlord inches from his prize.
Your celestial chains are bound by physical laws. The abyss obeys absolutely nothing.
The indestructible roots snapped like dry twigs under the crushing weight of infinite dark gravity. The warlord broke the final physical restraint. Only her bare hands stood before the absolute end.
If I cannot hold you back, I will make the prize impossible to touch!
She didn't defend the core. She merged her volatile draconic mana directly into the sacred prism.
The corrupted draconic blood acted as a catalyst, triggering the ultimate defensive metamorphosis of the vault.
Impossible! The abyss consumes all! It cannot be overwritten by mere light!
She was no longer a mortal fairy. Chrysia had become the living avatar of Rampart.
Your dark crusade ends here, Malachor. The forest reclaims all that is dead.
Creation is not merely peaceful. Against the abyss, pure life is the most aggressive weapon imaginable.
The Sovereign of Death was not merely defeated. His absolute existence was entirely erased from reality.
The corrupted lands healed instantaneously. The celestial shockwave purged every trace of Deja's foul poison.
The sky is blue again. The pixie actually managed to cleanse the deep root.
Even the ancient Sky Lord was pulled back from the brink of absolute death.
Rampart was saved. But the curious little blue fairy would remain a silent, eternal guardian.